right, we are going to go keep going down the path to making the work page with our assignments, a modal about our assignments, each one, and a brief description of them, whatever you want to say. You can talk about the assignment and what it looked like and what you did and what you learned, and just a brief, hopefully full paragraph about each one. So it's going to look, something like that. There's the in the modal, there's the heading right there. It has a small image. I think I did like 300 pixels wide. I had to I took a screenshot of each assignment by going Shift Command 4 on a Mac. I don't know what they are on the black keyboards, but it should be the Windows icon Shift 4, I believe. And you'll take a screenshot. Then you'll have to put them where you need them so the page can find them. But you also have to double click them and resize them in preview by going to Tools, Adjust Size. And again, you want to make sure before you do anything that you are using pixels instead of inches. So just look, it says pixels. It'll probably be 2,000 pixels wide to begin with or something. And then again, make that about 300 pixels wide, and you should have something that's a good size. And then you have another subheading here, a brief description of the assignment. You have this image floating left that we'll do a little bit later on. And then you have a full paragraph, not in Latin text, but in your own words, kind of describing what the assignment is or what you learned about from the assignment, all the different things that maybe we did in the assignment. Just kind of make it your own. Okay? So that's what it's going to kind of look like there. Right now, this is what we have right here. I showed you how to make the first three, and then adding CSS padding to each one of these. And then I'm going to show you how to click it, and this is without any CSS. But again, I grabbed a screenshot of what the assignment looked like finalized, and we'll float this image left. This heading and paragraph will go up here. We'll resize this probably, and then again, instead of Latin text, you'll have real text. So, okay, so let me go into Atom. And there are a couple things, if you remember right, we have to do. So what I would recommend doing is going into your one product modal page, and grabbing the modal. And I always like to put my modals first. Like here's the body. And I always have, believe me, we're going to have like 14 or 15 of these things. So you need comments, to where they start. Okay? And the biggest thing is if you grab the product page, the first thing you're going to see is this div ID, and you want to give it a name for each assignment, okay? And that name's going to be down there in the HTML later on, but I like to do that. So I changed the ID name instead of the product, whatever the first product you called, a box one or something, or my modal or something. You're going to say div ID equals, and I like to do, because it's case sensitive, all lowercase, no spaces. So if I want a space, I just do an underline there. Okay? So we did that first. And then you can go down and you can change the title of whatever the title is. And then you're going to go down a little bit further and say a brief description of the assignment in the modal body. So this is the modal header. That's on top of the modal. This is the middle of the modal, the main part of the modal, where I have a paragraph of Latin text. Let me toggle soft wrap. Yeah, so I have in the main modal body, I have an image. And this is, again, this was like box1.png. And what you're going to have to do is, I made a folder let's see if I can find this thing here. Yeah, so I made a folder called IMG where my web page is that I'm working on, and I'm going to put all the fake images in here. And then I'm going to say, hey, this web page, look for a folder called IMG and a slash, which means go inside of it, and then look for a thing called fake_images.png. And that is what's going on right here. Okay? And notice I gave it a class of img-modal, and we'll talk to that later to float it. Okay? Okay, so we did that. We changed that. And again, you want to resize this image into like 300 pixels wide. And then, so that's the modal, and that's not going to appear until something's clicked later on. But all the coding is there ready to go. And when you click it, it's going to look for this ID name of fake images. All right? Now, here's the navigation here, the sticky nav. And then below that is the Jumbotron, where we have the heading with my name. And we have the block quote. And then below the Jumbotron, after it closes, and the container and the row and the column, whatever, inside the Jumbotron, we start a container, okay? And we did that. And here is the first grid. Here is the thing for just Latin text, the column 4 for just Latin text. And here's the modal that I added here to show you. So here's the third one, column 4. And what I did was I added, let me see if I can. So I went into the H1 tag right here. And see how they each have a class name of like 1 or 2 or whatever. So I kept that, but I added data-toggle equals modal and data-target, whatever the ID name is up there, I gave it. So it's going to look for an ID name of fake images. Okay, and again, notice I put it in the H1 tag. So we kept the class name of 3, and we just added data-toggle equals modal in quotation marks, and then a space, and then data-target equals, and in quotation marks, a number sign and fake images. The number sign, the hashtag, means it's an ID name. It's looking for an ID name called fake_images. And again, that ID name is all the way up here in a modal, right here, where the modal starts. Div ID equals fake_images. So that name is what it's looking for. And again, it's in here. So here's the div that it has, the column, and it has the word 3, and a large heading tag, 3, with a class name of 3. And then I added again data-toggle equals modal, and then data-target equals whatever the ID name it was. I gave it up there. So if I save it and reveal in Finder and double-click it, remember I didn't add it to this first one or second one. I added it to the third one. And I'll click it, and there it is right there. Now again, we need to add some CSS to it to make it work. So let's do that right now. We're going to float it and all that stuff. So let me go, here's the web page, and here's the CSS. And I already have something called work. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it with Atom. And remember, we add something to the block quote, and you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 15 doing different colors, but the same padding throughout. And the only issue we had was some of the words that we used they were so long that there were 2 layers of words, and it changed the look of the rectangle here. So you can just back off on words and make it 1 or 2 words, so it's all one line, because there were 2 lines of text, if you remember. Okay, so below all this, I'm going to talk to the modal, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to say dot modal title, and we're going to say font size 2.5 EM. Okay, and save that. Now again, you can design this thing however you want. Just do better than what I did. I'm just kind of showing you some things, but nothing big. So that's going to change the heading. And let me show you that. And reload this. So it changed this heading right here into something larger, and looks like a heading. Okay, and you can color it. You could do a font face on it. Just have some fun with it. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk to the IMG modal. That's the image. So it's dot, because it's a class name, IMG-modal. And we are going to float, if I could spell here, float left, and that's going to bring the paragraph and the heading up next to it. We're going to have a margin of 10 px. That's on every top right, bottom left, all sides, and then we're going to add some padding inside of it on all sides. Okay, so if I save it and then reload and then click it, so we floated this image, we brought this paragraph up, and again, just instead of Latin text, just give me some words about what you learned, something about the assignment, maybe from a personal level, what you learned, how you liked it, whatever. Just try to be positive. Thanks. So that's just one. And again, you want to have comments. I can't stress enough that you want to add one modal at a time and check it. And again, I like to put them, as I said, the first thing under the body, but I have comments where they stop and where they start, because it's going to get really confusing. So you just really wanted to do one at a time and change the title, right? And then change the H3 for a brief description of assignment. And then again, I put a Latin paragraph in here, Latin text. And you can write out, again, try to make it a full paragraph, which is, 6 or 7 full sentences. And it should take you that not too long. Again, here's where the images go, right under the modal body, IMG source. And again, I put them in a folder called IMG, which the web page is right there where the web page is. There's a folder called IMG/. It means go inside of it, find an image called fake_images.png. I gave it a class name, IMG-modal. I talked to the modal. I talked to this. I floated it left, that brought up the paragraph next to it. I resized the main heading here called modal title. And that's it. So you just have to take your time. And again, I'm looking for like extra stuff like font faces, so you can try some fonts. Go to Color Lovers, do a better job of coloring what I did. Have some fun with the coloring aspect of it and designing aspect of it, and off you go. Thanks.